We'll spend a few moments in silence reflecting on this virtue of prosperity. As we slip into this workshop number 101, let's ask ourselves, what is true prosperity for me? And as you can see on the screen in front of you, it's the auspicious Deepavali time. You can see the sparkling light in front of you. What is it to be truly and spiritually prosperous? All of us have been on our spiritual journey for quite a few years now. And let us check ourselves. How prosperous are we on this path? And this checking needs to be at a very subtle level, not the gross, physical, materialistic things. What is it in my consciousness, in my subtleties, which I have been able to change and have been truly prosperous? So with these few thoughts, welcome all of you. Workshop 101. Hope you're excited as we are for today's workshop as we go further. Before that, let me just welcome all the team of facilitators. Sister Anu, who's joining from West Coast. We have Sister Priyal, who will be joining shortly. I hope she's around. It's a Diwali festive time, so everyone is just so occupied with so many other things. And also welcome to all our interpreters, our dear interpreters, and our recorders. And also a big welcome to all of you participants. So let's go further and go on to the icebreaker video. It will be a slightly longer one, around 4.5, 5 minutes. Take your time. We may go a little bit overshoot, but that's perfectly fine. And you see what insights you get on this related to spirituality. Please don't mind the Hindi words written because I couldn't get any other video which was relevant for today. So there'll be translations down written on. It's a Hindi video, but with translations written on the screen. So let's.
आप सुबह सुबह क्राइम शो देख
What are your thoughts? Okay. I can see it's not yet anything. Fine. So I think it's okay. We are having less, it's all Diwali festive time, less participants as always during the festive season. So no worries. So we can go on to the first activity. No worries, Anu sister, because there are not many people to share. So thank you. Someone has written something. Just a moment. Let me just acknowledge that. Sorry. I hope people can write here now. So Garima sister is saying spiritual health depends on the content. Yeah, very true. And that also depends how prosperous I am. If my spiritual health is good, I am prosperous. So content consumption, very important. Serena says, this has come to me actually direct. I think probably
I have
people
changed the setting now. Sorry, now you all can send to everyone.
That's fine. So Rena Ben is saying prosperity is when you are able to share with what the other person wants. Interesting. Okay, so thank you for kickstarting this, and we'll move on to the first activity. Thank you. We are not on time.
Hey, thank you. Very, very beautiful video, I'm sure. You're taking something, some experience, and that is the whole essence of the spiritual prosperity. So let's move on to our first exercise of reflecting on prosperity. The meaning of prosperity, it needs to be understood. Of course, the talk last week by Brother Ken was very empowering, more spiritually senseful to understand. Prosperity begins from our inner self. So, in this whole journey, the beginning exercise would be uh, to visualize a prosperous person. Let's look at someone around us, in the family, at work, or neighbor, wherever, or our teachers at school, university. So, who you think is the prosperous person who is coming to your mind right now? So, visualize that prosperous person and reflect on what the true meaning of prosperity is for you, or what is that they show, why they came to your mind as you're thinking about who is a prosperous person around me. So, what is the meaning of prosperity? What you can share is what is that particularly shows through them. So, I'll put some music. Let's take for a minute of reflection. I hope you got some thoughts, understanding. So you can share on chat or you can speak and share. I would welcome all of you to unmute, to share, or put your thoughts in the chat box. Well, who came to my mind? I would say my spouse, my husband, focused. The qualities I see: focused, very gentle behavior, always, and happy. I sometimes think how he maintains that, but I think it comes from inside. It's a focus on removing the distraction, something that's not useful. And I hope that gives some inspiration for others to share. Rehna, sister, you share?
Yeah, of course, we all know that God is the ocean of prosperity in terms of knowledge, virtues, and powers, and wisdom. And all others are only master prosperous in that way. But from a worldly perspective, I would say before coming to Gyan, I wouldn't consider anybody prosperous in that way who had everything. But after coming to Gyan, there were many. In the sense, like I said earlier, if you are able to share what the other person wants, I mean, not in a materialistic perspective, it must be knowledge or wisdom or power or virtue. So if you are able to share it with maximum number of people, and if it is experience, if you are able to share with a lot of people, okay, then I would consider that person a prosperous person. And I have met many people. I won't take names, but I have met many people that way. Thankfully.
Beautiful. Yeah, master prosperous. I love that. So that quotient of meditation that brings that aware. Thank you so much, Rena. I'll read few from the chat. Harpreet Daliwal sister says, prosperity is being stable inside, doesn't matter what is happening outside. Vijay Pal brother says, always remember who you are, whom you belong to, or you are the child of the Supreme Father, and it's a play around us, the drama. That will make us prosperous. That's the meaning of prosperity for him, which is spiritual content, definitely. Then Sarabjit says, prosperity means who have more contentment and satisfaction, and have all powers like peace, happiness, bliss. Brother Michael says, prosperous person has the capacity to maintain her values in all circumstances of life. Always be ready to express and share her values. Like Brother Ken said, that maintain values in all circumstances, not only in expressing, but also like if something doesn't work the way we want, I can handle it. That's what Brother Ken also brought into our attention. So thank you, Michael, brother. That is something in other language, we'll see when we get the translation. Brijpal Bhai says prosperity is purity, royalty, happiness, harmony, humility, service to humanity. Beautiful collection values. That's true. It's a collection of so many values can make prosperous behavior. Expression has to show the prosperity, purity, royalty. So nothing affects. We cannot come down, right? Whatever may be happening, can we hold an elevated personality, energy, and Lara is also has put in other language. Anybody who is interested to unmute and speak? We can take one or two. Yes, Anna, you want to share? Not sure. So anybody else? Anand, you can share. You would like to share?
Thank you. Yes, that's a nice, very nice topic, prosperity. We always think of prosperity when it rains, for example. There is a Turkish saying, rain is prosperity. And yeah, I think prosperity comes with the mind, and it needs to be paras buddhi. It must have the big picture, and it needs to be beautiful in the mind, and needs to create beautiful thoughts. And this is the only way it can be reflected with the actions and the reactions too. Beautiful topic. Thank you so much. That's all I can share. Thank you.
Paras goodly. Very elevated, pure, clean intellect. And action and reactions will show prosperity. Thank you so much, Sanam sister. Geeta Jumani says, in practical life, prosperity means successful in your career and make wealth and spiritually, there is growth, feeling full and satisfied, and have a feeling of well-being and being a giver. Beautiful essence. Thank you so much, Geeta sister. That's the essence of if someone is prosperous. Vijay Bhai, you want to share quickly? We are now going fast.
Om Shanti, my dear brothers and sisters. First, wishing you a very, very happy Deepavali. And tomorrow is Bhaiya Dooj, which are all sign of prosperity. Prosperity means that you have always remember that we are like a diya, we are like a lamp who is glowing all the time, a shining star, who remembers this all the time that we are shining star and we are deity, giving to nature, giving to human beings, giving to all the souls of the world, love, peace, happiness. That stage is prosperity. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Yeah. So how you feel inside, that also we got from the last week's talk. So that's the diya that spreads out of me. Beautifully explained, Vijay Bhai. Thank you. So Lara says prosperity is being satisfied and happy with yourself. It is having the courage to face everyday life with wisdom and the company of the Father, God, Divine, the Beautiful. Thank you, Lara, sister. Real sister says, being able to share whatever inner gifts you have is being prosperous. So being aware of it and we are the givers. We have it, we have to give it. The diya, we are lit energies. It spreads from us. So to be able to give is prosperity. Sanem says prosperity involves creation of beautiful elevated thoughts that then are reflected in our actions and reactions and not to be influenced by drama or crime, war, or any other mistake. At least the last message, Joan says, richest, prosperous man lives in happy valley and contentment. Thank you, Joan. So yeah, so we'll wrap up here. We can see what you have shared. Deepak Bhai is sharing. We'll share that also later on, but we can take just half a minute glance if you right. This beautiful collection of what prosperity means actually. So we can all take a look and reflect and bring it practically to our lives. So capacity to maintain values in all circumstances of life, being calm, stable inside, no matter what's happening outside, being able to share what others need, being able to share what is we hold within, like the lamb, and satisfied and happy with yourself. Have courage to face everyday life with wisdom and experience the companionship with divine God. And yeah, a purity, royalty, and being able to be there for service to humanity and elevated thoughts that can show in our actions and reactions, no matter what's happening in the world. That's again elevated mind, pure, clean intellect, and actions with it. And we are like diyas, the stars, and like deities giving to souls the love, peace, and that's our essence within. Thank you everyone. And let's move on to the next experience. I'll hand it over to her.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's sit back for the next few minutes or so. Try to situate oneself in this mode of being truly prosperous. So focusing oneself on the beautiful energy that I am. And today, look at yourself as this diya, which means in Hindi to give. So on this auspicious occasion of Diwali, where we light up so many diyas, so ask yourself that if I'm able to give and give and give always, that is actually being truly prosperous. No matter how much I have materialistically, but if I'm able to donate virtues and powers through my actions, I am truly prosperous. Also looking at my mind, what am I able to donate through my mind? If I'm able to make someone powerful through my attitude of good wishes and pure feelings, it is truly a donation of power to them. Only a prosperous soul can do that. Look at my words. If through my words I'm able to embody myself in the points of knowledge which I receive daily through the supreme versions, then I am truly prosperous. And last but not the least, through my actions, am I able to donate all the virtues by becoming an embodiment of each one of them, then I am truly prosperous. So let us just revise, donating power through the powerful mind, donating knowledge through my words and becoming an embodiment of that knowledge, and through my actions, donating all the virtues. And lastly, the more and more I start practicing this true spirituality by being really very soul conscious all the time, as much as I can I then be truly called prosperous? And with this few thoughts, let's prepare ourselves to move on to the action planning activity, whereby we'll be discussing how to enhance these aspects of prosperity in action with others. So stop sharing the screen and over to Sister Priyal. Should I share the screen? Is that okay with you, or
I downloaded it. Thank you.
you have? Okay, so I'll stop it myself. Thanks.
Before we move ahead, I'll request everyone to just change their chat settings. If you want to send a chat message, just send it to
Your
everyone.
voice is not very clear. Maybe check the system, or maybe you can remove it. Maybe the connection is
it
loose.
clear?
Okay.
Is it clear now?
Yes.
No?
Yeah,
Is it?
just hold it closer to your mouth. Yeah,
I'll hold it. Okay. So I just request everyone to change their chat settings so that everyone can read the sharings that they're sharing on the chat box before we move on. And now we'll move on to the action planning exercise, wherein we get an opportunity to reflect on how we can enhance the value that we have been listening about for so long now. So I'll just share my screen. Is it audible and visible as well? Yeah.
Audible.
Okay. Just take a few minutes to reflect on what ways or means or methods can I adopt in my life to enhance my spiritual prosperity. Take a few minutes. another moment. Okay. Let's move on to the sharing. Is there anybody who would like to unmute and share? How can we enhance? By what methods can we enhance prosperity, spiritual prosperity?
Om
Yes,
Shanti
Vijay.
Didi.
Please go ahead. Yeah. Om Shanti.
After doing a wonderful meditation by Brother Manoj Bhai on this Diwali's and today's topic prosperity, I think we should follow three things. One, muskarana, always smiling. And you can always smile if your sankalp, your thoughts are pure, your insight is total purity, then only you can have a muskarana, always smiling, real smiling, smiling with heart. Number two, shukrana, always have a thankful gratitude starting from God to each soul, whomsoever you contact or whomsoever comes in your mind. Give best wishes, be prosperous, be courageous, be humble, that sort of a shukrana to everybody. Third, never hurt anybody. Kabhi kisi ko dukh mat dena. Never hurt. If we do these three, I think we are following prosperity in real action. Om Shanti.
Thank you for such wonderful sharing. Concise pointer. One, smile. Second, have an attitude of gratitude. And thirdly, never hurt anyone. Yes, I can see Michael. Please go ahead.
Om Shanti. I am in Gaya, in India. So, yeah, for me, is whatever life God has given me, let me use it for the best and never waste it. So I should be in the reality of what I have and to use it properly, because then God will trust me to give always me more, and more I get from God, more I can give to humanity. So in short sense, I will say like that.
Thank you for
Yeah.
such wonderful sharing. Give is again the message to be prosperous. Anyone else would like to share? Yes, Rena, please go ahead.
Yeah, based on the knowledge, we know that purity is the mother of peace and prosperity. But in the basic Raj Yoga meditation course, the 7 days course, in the day one, we learn about the 7 virtues. That is the love, peace. I mean, we learn it in any order, okay? The love, peace, purity, happiness, power, knowledge, and bliss. And it's very surprising that the initial video was about content, because these 7 qualities, it has a sequence. And I didn't know this. I've been in Gyan for 11 plus years, and I didn't know this earlier. And I came to know about just last week while I was attending a conference, that it has a sequence. And the first one is knowledge. Knowledge leads to purity, which leads to love. Love leads to peace, and peace leads to happiness and prosperity, which again leads to bliss. And then it leads to power. And all these, contribute to self-confidence. So the first thing is knowledge. So the worldly knowledge, the more we acquire, the more ego, gets inflated in us. Okay. So the solution for the inflated ego, because of the worldly knowledge, we have acquired a lot of bookish knowledge, a lot of degrees, and, a lot of things. So the solution for this is godly knowledge. So the more godly knowledge you have, the sequence, it falls, correctly. And one after the other repeats, and then we are prosperous.
So wonderful. That sequence is amazing. So we'll share it when we are in the summary, so that everybody can see what the sequence is. So I can see with a bridge Parasai. Please go ahead. Yes.
This prosperity in the spiritual kingdom is purity, the royalty, and the service to humanity. So for that we have to take small steps, as we are doing every day. First is to get up, connection with the God, and then attain powers and spread it in the environment to uplift the other souls. Second is to regularly attend the centers and for the Murli, but you choose 1 or 2 points daily and use it for yourself and for the others to uplift them. And we can learn from nature to be prosperous. As the nature is all giving, we should start giving, and remembering giving is receiving. And then we can learn from the Supreme the humility. You see, as nature gives everything for you to survive, and similarly, God gives you enough for your need and not for your greed. So to be prosperous, you always live combined with the Supreme and start giving. And from the limited stage to go to the unlimited stage and attain renunciation and the bliss. That is the prosperity. Om Shanti.
Thank you for sharing. Giving is receiving, is what we can say. So in chat box, I can see only one sharing, but it needs to be translated. So we have got 2 minutes. Sanam, you would like to go ahead? Please please unmute yourself. And in short, if we can have a sharing. Please go ahead. Sanam, please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, what I would love to share and to add to this giving, which is like the prosperity comes with the sharing of the knowledge that we are learning, and giving is the wealth of this knowledge, and that is wealth. So to go into solitude, which could be the first instance, and then to focus on the sky for the higher consciousness, and see everything from up above, and to see how small the stage is actually, and that we're just playing a temporary role in here, and nothing is important and just temporary. Thank you.
Thank you for that sharing. So we'll see the sharing in the chat box. Lara says, I can only donate what I have. So it is necessary to seek to assimilate the divine virtues and practice using them every second. Living in awareness of who I really am definitely makes me a prosperous being. Wonderful. So can we have a summary of all the sharings before we move on? Okay, these are the wonderful sharings that we all have shared. The 3 pointers: always keep smiling, always have gratitude to God and to each soul, and never hurt anybody. So following this will make us prosperous always. Use the life that God has given, making it worthwhile, so that giving to humanity makes one prosperous. Godly knowledge leads to purity, which will lead to love, and having love will lead to peace, and peace will lead to ultimate prosperity and happiness, which will lead to power, and that will help us have a better self-confidence. Small steps for prosperity: we get it from God and donate to every soul. Prosperity comes from sharing the wealth of godly knowledge, and only I can donate only when I have. Our last thought that I can have is, one of the things which prevents us from feeling prosperous is comparison. So if we can stop comparing ourselves and look at the uniqueness that we have within, we'll feel more prosperous within, and when we feel prosperous, probably we'll be able to share whatever we have, because each one of us has got that speciality. So with this thought, I'll hand over it to Manoj Bhai to take it further. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, all of you, for your thoughts. And before I go on to what Brother Ken had to share, if I can just make a few announcements that people who have joined new, If you all can please share your WhatsApp numbers if you're comfortable to everyone, or to Sister Vidhi or Sister Anu. And you can also share your email addresses, because whatever these materials review, we'll send it to you all in a form of email. So you all can just look at the words of wisdom which all of you all have spoken here. It's a group wisdom, a beautiful group wisdom which comes out with these workshops. So on this auspicious occasion of Diwali, let's speak about what Brother Ken had to say about prosperity. So he mentioned that I, the light, am the center of my life, because I am the light of this physical body, which means I am a soul. And he said prosperity itself is a value, no doubt, but there are many sorts of adjacent values which lead to abundance, because in some way or the other, prosperity is related to abundance. And as we have been speaking about, also we meditated on that prosperity. We spoke about donating, giving the donation of everything, the power, the virtues, and the knowledge through our faculties, the mind, thoughts, the words, and the action. It's only someone who's abundant in all these can he or she donate. Then he spoke about the United Nations, where there are something called SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. But all those are more on a physical level, he mentioned, and the spiritual aspects have totally been disregarded there. And it reminds me that we are doing this 101st workshop now. So on values, so values are not just words, they are attitudes, and they run much more deeper than that. And he also mentioned that when service is done without expecting anything in return, service, when we say it is like serving at a very different level, through your thoughts, through your words, actions, serving through your mind, serving through your money, serving through your time as well, if you're giving someone time. So service is a big subject. So if I'm serving without expecting anything in return, then he said that beautiful journey becomes God's sustenance, because the Supreme Being is then invoked in that service. And how fortunate we are to be able to be a part of that service. That's what he mentioned. And he also went on to mention that if I do something selflessly, not expecting anything in return, the universe is always there to help us. So we say conspiracies, right? Conspiracy. The universe also conspires to just help me if I am doing it selflessly. So according to him, selfless service is very important. Then he went on to speak about knowledge and the light of knowledge. And this true sense of identity, which we have at Brahma Kumari, is the day one when we come. That's our day one of the spiritual class, that who am I? Though people speak that we are souls, I am a soul, but the true concept and the experience of that concept is taught in Raj Yoga meditation. So once I get that sense of the true sense of my identity, I start valuing myself, and also I value how I see myself. And I'm giving out a statement to the world of who I really am. And that's not ego, that's the self-respect, the true self-respect of the soul. Because if I identify myself with this body all the time, I am disrespecting myself. So he said that there are three things which we need to remember. That elevated state of consciousness is the sense of identity, sense of purpose, and sense of direction. What is the reason for my being in this costume, in this body? Why am I playing this role? And the elevated sense of purpose is if I connect myself with the Supreme Being, I will really be able to know what is my purpose. And the third thing is sense of direction. Then I will really be directed by the Supreme's guidance. And in Hindi, we have this beautiful word at Brahma Kumaris, we say Shrimat. It's also in the Hindu scriptures, it's written Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So Srimat means Sresht Mat. Sresht means elevated. So if I'm able to follow the elevated directions of the Supreme Being, then I can become an anchor for all the souls who are really looking out for Him. So this way, he said the sense of identity, the sense of purpose, and the sense of direction. So with this, I'll take a few questions. Very, very deep questions, and he answered it very beautifully. The first question was, what do I do? Sorry, what should I do so that the law of attraction works for me? And then I always get what I want. Because he spoke about the law of attraction. And then someone had asked this question that I know the law of attraction. I create beautiful, good thoughts, but I'm still not able to achieve those. So he really very nicely pointed out that you will not get whatever you want. You will only get whatever you deserve. And something which is there in my fortune, no one can snatch that from me. And something which is not there in my fortune, I'll never get it. So whatever I deserve, it will come to me at the appropriate time, and it will come to me definitely. So he said that happiness also is not because I got this or I'm getting this from someone. Happiness is a process. It's not about going after things, but about bringing out what you have internally. So it was beautiful that if I want something, it is not that I keep creating thoughts, I want this, I want this. No, that is actually a sort of wanting, which may or may not be fulfilled. It's good if I can fulfill it or if it is fulfilled. But if it doesn't fulfill, then I go in a very different mode. I become dissatisfied. So we know, all of us know this proverb, which he mentioned, that Mahatma Gandhi said that there's enough in this world for everyone's need, but too little for a single man's greed. So let us not look at law of attraction, that I want this. It'll just come to me. I keep doing selflessly service. A second question was very interesting, actually. That is, neighbors are jealous of my new car and they have scratched dents and everything on the car. What do I do? Again, a wonderful answer. He said that if you have a virtue and you are very proud of having that virtue, then people will be jealous of that virtue. So, on a subtle level, disregarding the car here, the example here tells what he's telling us, that whatever virtues I have in myself, they are all God's gift. We call in Hindi Prabhu Prasad. God has chosen me and it is His gift, and I can't own it. I can't say, oh, it's me who's like that. No, it is God's gift. So, similarly, he mentioned that if you have an attachment to materialistic things, for example, here it is the car, that attachment will really attract jealousy from people and will inspire jealousy. And our attachment will then attract that unnecessary attention from those people in the form of jealousy. And here he mentioned the second law, which was beautiful again. In one of his books, it's mentioned that wherever attention goes, energy flows. And wherever energy flows, things grow, life grows. So if I'm constantly myself so attracted towards my car, towards my materialistic achievement, I'm giving a wrong energy outside. And then people will conspire and it will come in the form of jealousy and all these things of denting and all that will happen. So beautiful answer, which he spoke about. And I'm sure the person got the message who had asked the question. Then as one of our participants said about, at Brahma Kumaris, we are taught this peace, purity, and prosperity. We are taught about a golden age, which is just about to come. We are just a few, I must say, maybe years away from that. So that land, that golden age, is full of peace and purity. And along with this, it is full of prosperity. Everything is abundant over there because it is ruled by the deities, the deity kingdom. And deity again means dena, means to keep giving, as we heard, we have been discussing so far. So the question was that how is prosperity connected to peace and purity? So he mentioned that beautifully that peace and purity are the inputs, and the output is in the form of prosperity. And also we say that purity gives rise to peace and happiness. In Hindi we say pavitrata sukh shanti ki janani hai, which so if I'm having peaceful thoughts, if I'm having pure thoughts, I will definitely be peaceful and happy all the time. So I need to really work on my these two value systems. Am I really peaceful and am I pure in my thoughts? And there was one last question which I'll take. That's the last question for which we asked him as well. That how do I know what the sense of direction and purpose is in my life? A young brother asked that question. So brother Ken mentioned that if you value your true qualities and know what they are useful for in this world, like love and peace, which are used to spread that in this world. So that's the primary purpose. I need to know what are my true innate qualities. And then once I start, the knowledge is the first thing. Once I know that, automatically the direction and the purpose comes with connecting myself to the Supreme. Whereas all these other materialistic things like doing a job, having the need to earn money, raising a family, all these are so very temporary purposes in life. And again, he said that if you don't know who you are, you won't know what you are doing. And he went on to say in English grammar, the first verb is to be, and then it is to do. So we are human beings, not human doings. So it's first to be, then it is to do, and then it is to have. So he said, fix up the alignment of these verbs, and then you will know your direction and purpose in life. Wonderful. So with this, I'll stop sharing because that was the last slide. And if we could just spotlight Sister Rona and Sister Anjani, both are there. Sister Anjani has been there since a long time. Thank you so much, Sister Anjani, for joining. And before I pass it on to you, I hope Sister Rona has joined. Just check it. And Sister Anjani has always given me a brief biodata. It's my mistake. I should have asked her once more today, but I didn't get a chance to do that. So, I mean, very humble enough to say that she is the coordinator of the Brahma Kumari's Meditation Center at the Global Harmony House, which is actually we must say, the headquarters of the USA, because everyone usually comes there. It's in Great Neck, New York. And she really does a very wonderful job there because it's full of visitors coming from all over the world. And she has got this beautiful part of sustaining them. And she has been practicing Raj Yoga meditation for over 40 years now. And let me tell you one thing honestly here, that when I approached her for this talk, we didn't have this value prosperity at all written. So she said, Manoj bhai, it's Diwali time. I don't remember what value I had given her. She said, let's do this value of prosperity because Diwali it signifies prosperity all over the place, everywhere. So I said, yeah, wonderful. Why not? So honestly, it is because of you, Sister Anjani, this value we are doing. And then I had to hunt someone for the talk because 1 week prior we do the workshop, we do the talk, and Brother Ken was so happy and he was so open-minded to accept the change in the value. So that's all because of Sister Anjani. Thank you so much. And let's move on to Sister Rona now. So she basically is a medical doctor, I must say. She's from the Netherlands and she's worked in refugee camps in psychiatry and also in clinical geriatrics. And her special interest is in holistic health, whereby she feels that ill health and ill-being are because of stress, illness, and suffering. And also that is because we have not aligned ourselves to our root consciousness, what we are, the soul consciousness. She has been with the Brahma Kumaris for more than 25 years. And since the past 13 years, she's fully dedicated to the work. I think this biodata is from last year, so now it will be one more year added to that. And Sister Rona is currently based in Manhattan, New York. You all know Manhattan is a very happening place in one of the counties in New York. So welcome both of you. And as always, before I pass it on to you all, a few lines in the form of a poem. So, in this world where consumerism is at its surplus and people in their approach are so heterologous, both the sisters come with their wisdom on how to be truly prosperous, so that we are away from Maya's clutches, which is indeed so preposterous. Maya is preposterous. I and me in our vocabulary has replaced the words we and us, where choices and prospects in life are indeed so numerous. Relationships have become so fragile and seem to create a lot of fuss. Despite earning salary packages in multiples of plus, everyone wants to lead a life of being autonomous. Though people live together as being synonymous, but people in this otherwise big world feel very anonymous. But Raj Yoga comes to the rescue and removes us from the prison of being monotonous. So with this, I pass it on to both the sisters. Thank you so much. Over to you. I think Sister Rona is a bit late, is she? So just
I'm here.
Om Shanti and a good morning from this part of our world and a happy Diwali to everyone. And so this is your light, this is my light, this is the light that talks to all of us and tell us that we are lights, God is the supreme light, and how beautiful this festival is remembered in every Hindu home around the world. And also congratulations to the Values program, which has been running for how many years now? 3 years, 4 years?
4 years.
4 years now. So congratulations to all of you, the team and all the participants in this wonderful program of bringing the family around the whole world. I'm sure there are many, many who have new ones keep joining, and everyone is taking some benefit because there are so many of our seniors and everyone who comes into this program to help us to understand and apply these values. Because when we think of prosperity, I ask myself, well, what does prosperity means to me? You know, we look at this time of the year, and who is remembered the most is Goddess Lakshmi. So I looked at Goddess Lakshmi and I said, well, why are you remembered as the goddess of prosperity? And someone sent me a little beautiful little clipping of Goddess Lakshmi, and what I'm seeing is that from her arm and her hands and from it's like her whole body, it's like this golden coins are just being thrown all around, and the whole room became full of golden coins. And I said, well, this must be this person's view and thought and feeling of what prosperity looks like. So they create that image of Mahalakshmi and say, well, you are the one who's going to be full of all these golden coins, and you're going to share these golden coins with everyone who come in front of you. So I went deeper and I said, okay, so what again prosperity means to me? Why is it that we feel connected with this word prosperity? And we know the affluence and the golden coins and all the beautiful things around Mahalakshmi is the end result of something that is deeper, that the soul is connected with. And sorry, I have a little cough, but all that affluence is not of golden coins, but it's of the specialties in the soul. How wealthy the soul became at some point in her life before the soul became Mahalakshmi, before she took that role on of a combined form of Lakshmi and Narayan. And where did she get all that from? Who gave her all of that? What made her feel prosperous and feel full and accomplished? And it was very interesting to listen to the feedback from the group. And all were sharing on knowledge and qualities and powers. No one talked about all the fancy cars and all the physical things of prosperity of today. If you would have asked someone out there, well, what prosperity means to you? And they will say, well, you own all these kind of properties and you own so much, and one will see prosperity as that kind of a growth. But it's interesting for those who are on a spiritual journey, how do we see prosperity? And when I look back in my own life, my childhood days, I felt I was pretty prosperous. I had what I needed and I didn't feel that I needed anything. But then after coming to the Brahma Kumaris, I was at the age of 20, 21, just turned 21. And I stepped into that awareness of seeing that how it was a very natural and gradual seed of growth, that when God planted that seed of awareness in me, the soul became aware that I have so much wealth in myself. There is abundance in the soul. There is so much richness that's there that it's like you get a vision of it, you get a glimpse of it. And then that glimpse became like a seed. And as the soul became more and more aware of these qualities, using them, becoming them, sharing them, prosperity grows. Prosperity becomes where you feel accomplished inside. You feel that there is nourishment, there is fullness inside. And so, yes, soul hasn't reached the stage of that complete fullness, but soul knows what that fullness feels like and look like. Because when we connect to God in his fullness, as he is, he's the ocean. When the soul experiences itself as being the master ocean and go to God in that form of being a master, God gives the experience that you are also full like me. You have what I have. Feel that, be that, and use that. And so that's the beautiful aspect of meditation, that meditation takes us to that place where we can experience what is in the soul in its fullness, and that's prosperity. But I look at it as something which is growing, something that is, it's becoming, something that is reaching the state where you can't grow anymore, you just have it. You feel that you're prosperous. And this is why, looking back at that image of Mahalakshmi, she just looks like she's just in her form, that I don't need anything else. I don't need anyone to give me anything. I don't even need to look at God to give me anything. But everyone who visits her, whether it's in the temple, whether it's in their homes, wherever her image is placed, there is that feeling that she has enough to give to everyone. So the whole world can come, but there is a constant feeling of giving. We may look at that image and see it's just an image, but all those who go in front of that image is not seeing an image. They're seeing the quality of prosperity. They're seeing that this being once lived in this body. There was a being that lived in that body who was very prosperous and who gave everything. And in that giving, they all still go to that being up till today. They go in the form of an image, but in their consciousness, in every devotee consciousness, this is not just an image, but one who will fulfill their desires. And so each one of us, we have the capacity, we have the spiritual rights, we have a relationship with God, we have the power to attain from the source whatever we want, whatever we need, in whatever form we would like to experience that. It's as though we are heirs to God's treasures, to God's qualities. And so that's prosperity for me, that every day, as the soul ascends, as the soul connects to the source, as the soul receives and use it to feel that I'm becoming. And as others come in front of me and experience that they have received something, sometimes they're people with difficulties, they're coming with problems, they're coming with their issues, they're coming with their desires, they're coming with expectations, they're coming with so much of their own. They come in front of us. How do I feel at that moment? Especially these days, sometimes we say, finish expectations. You know, we should not have expectations. And it's quite true that I should not have any expectation. But what about others when they come in front of me, expecting something, needing something, wanting something? What is my experience of today? Am I being in the form of that Mahalakshmi? Am I being in that form of God's heir? To feel that I am not seeing expectations, I am not seeing needs and wants, but the more the soul is in the consciousness, in the awareness of its pure spiritual rights, that soul who comes in front of me, they will feel satisfied, they will feel fulfilled, they will feel that they have been uplifted. Their problems, their difficulties, their situations, you know, everything is getting reduced, and feel that, yes, they can also connect with the Supreme Source to receive what they want. And so I'm looking at this whole aspect of prosperity, where life at this time, and when I'm using this word this time, because we are at delicate times, and this is why Diwali is also celebrated in the darkest night. And so it's so dark that if you have a light that is lit from a distance, you can see it. And so we, as the lights who connect to ourselves as light and connect to the Supreme Soul as the Supreme Light, we become the lights that in this darkest time period, we are actually giving light and sharing light. The light of love, the light of peace, the light of happiness, the light of joy, the light of that abundance that we have in us, that we connect with. We stay in that awareness, and we feel that I can live life more and more naturally by these qualities, so that anyone who comes in front of me, I should be able to have that to give without the thought of giving. It's not even a thought I have to give, but it's more stabilizing the self in the awareness of the form that the soul is in its complete form. And so I'm really seeing this beautiful quality of prosperity as a seed of growth until the soul reaches that stage where I don't need anything more. I wouldn't even need it from God, because God would also say, you have reached your highest stage. So can I experience that again and again, that the fullness in the soul is in front of me as much as possible so that I can feel happy, I can experience that contentment, and I can experience the richness of what my life is and the purpose of my life at this time. And so, Sister Rona, it would be lovely to hear from you what prosperity means to you and how you feel you're living a very prosperous life.
Thank you, Anjani. And hello, everyone. Thanks to Dr. Manoj and Dr. Ashok Mehta and the whole team. Thanks for the invitation. The sound is okay?
Yes, it's okay, yeah. But if you want to just hold that close, so it will be more better.
It's slightly low, I would say.
Yeah.
We can increase it.
This better?
Yeah, it's better now.
It's better. Okay. I'll hold it like this. Fascinating topic, no? Prosperity. And unfortunately, in the world today, prosperity has diminished to the understanding of how much money we have or how much possessions we hold, whether it is in form of real estate or in form of gold and jewelry or some posh car. But that is generally the understanding that in today's world, people associate with wealth. And maybe a little bit more wealth in terms of possessions and position also. And maybe also relationships, who you know, if you have good connections. But of course, when we approach it from a spiritual angle, it becomes very different. And yes, of course, money is still wealth, possessions is still wealth, position is still some form of wealth, and definitely relationships are also wealth. But it is more broader. And I'd like to use two stories to illustrate some deeper understandings of wealth. You like stories? Everybody likes stories in general. So one story, this is a story of a man who lives in Manhattan and he has a dream. And in his dream, God appears. And God tells him, if you want to be rich, for the rest of your life, go to this mountain. And so in the dream, God describes him a mountain and he says, you will find a man sitting there. And that man will give you a stone. And that stone will make you rich for the rest of your life. You and your children and your grandchildren also. And he wakes up at that moment. But this dream appeared so real, so he thought, let me go check it out. So he takes his car, he drives upstate New York, goes up to the mountain that he was described in his dream. And he goes to that place and he sees a man sitting there underneath a tree in meditation. So he goes to that man and he says, stone, stone, where's my stone? Give me my stone. And the man looks at him, what? And he says, God told me you will give me a stone that will make me rich. So he says, I know. You go there, there is a creek there, and on the shore of that creek, underneath a tree, you will find a stone. It will make you rich for the rest of your life. So he goes where the man tells him, and there is a huge diamond. A big rock that is like a diamond. So he quickly takes out his jacket, barely can cover the diamond. He covers it, brings it in his car, and he takes it back to Manhattan. Feeling the richest person in the US, not just Manhattan, the whole of the US, intoxicated. After 2 weeks, he goes back to that mountain and he carries the stone with him. And he looks for the man and he finds the man and he gives him back the stone. He says, "Here, take." And the man said, "What happened? Aren't you the richest person? This is what you wanted." He said, "Yes, yes, but I did not sleep 2 weeks. And I had to put bars in front of my windows and my balcony, and I put a triple lock on my door. And my boss is about to fire me because I couldn't go to work. I had to guard this diamond, and all my neighbors, they are conspiring to steal my stone. Take this. I don't need this stone. Give me what you have." And the man says, "I don't have anything. I gave you my wealth." He said, "No, no, I want that wealth that you have that allowed you to give away the diamond. That wealth I want." And I feel this story illustrates, at least for the spiritual seeker and the spiritual student, a deeper understanding of wealth, a mind that is content, an intellect that is filled with wisdom and feels, "I don't need a diamond to be happy, to be content, to be full, to be at ease, to be in peace." A mind that is quiet and calm regardless of the bank account. He was okay with the diamond. He is still okay without the diamond. And this is what Anjani Ben is also sharing, no? That deeper inner wealth of contentment, wealth of happiness. And that type of wealth is associated with wisdom. That type of wealth is associated with the wealth of knowing the true self, knowing our purpose, knowing the secrets of human life, knowing the dynamics of the game of human life, and playing the game with wisdom. That wealth is the wealth of knowing God and experiencing God as a companion, as a father, mother. That is a different kind of wealth. And what is more pleasant about this type of wealth, no one can really take that wealth away. Now, the forms of wealth in terms of money, position, possessions, even relationships, even health, it fluctuates, it changes all the time, and it can finish, it can completely end. But this deeper wealth that is stored in consciousness, this deeper wealth that is stored inside in the form of sanskars and tendencies and inclinations, that stays with us unless we let it go. And that stays with us even when this body comes to the end of its lifespan and when the soul journeys on into a next body, into a next scene. Those inner propensities, those inclinations, those tendencies of wisdom, based on wisdom, that wealth goes with the soul. And so, what is the highest form of wealth? The highest form of prosperity is the prosperity of the soul. And I would even dare to say that physical wealth and physical prosperity is ultimately a manifestation, a result of that inner wealth. And this is where the second story comes in. The second story is not really a story, it's a poem. But story poem of Rabindranath Tagore in Gitanjali, his famous book for which he won the Nobel Prize of Literature, actually the first non-Western writer. Anyway, the poem is about a beggar. What is the word? The beggar, the king, the beggar and the king, it's called. And in that story, there is a beggar in a village who goes begging from door to door. And one day he wakes up and he has a special feeling as if something big is going to happen. And he gets ready, he goes outside, and on the horizon he sees a golden light that is moving towards his village. And as he walks further, that light enters the village and even enters the street in which he is begging. And that golden light is actually a golden chariot on which the King of Kings is sitting, God himself. And his chariot approaches the beggar, and the beggar thinks, oh wow, now my days of poverty are finished. Getting his list ready. And the King of Kings stops his chariot in front of the beggar. And the beggar, his heart is pounding. And the King of Kings comes off the chariot and stretches out his hand to the beggar and says, what have you got to give to me? What do you have for me? And so this poor beggar, what is this? He was getting ready to ask his list. And here is God asking him, what do you have to give to me? But it's God, so he can't say no. So he reaches in his pants pocket and he looks for the smallest piece of grain. He takes it out the pocket and put it in God's hand, who smiles at him and says, thank you, turns around, gets on the chariot, and off he goes, leaving this beggar disillusioned and wondering what is this. So he has to continue with his begging, and at the end of the day, coming home, he empties his pocket, he empties his bag, and between the pieces of roti and grains and rice, he finds a small grain of gold, just as small as the grain that he gave to the King of Kings. And the last phrase of the poem is, I wished and I wept that I had had the heart to give him my all. And I feel this is another area of prosperity. Life doesn't give us what we want or what we run after or chase after. Life gives us what we can give. The whole game in the human dimension is about how much can I give? How big is my heart? How much can I surrender? That is what will come back to me. And even whether it comes back or not, the real joy and the real happiness is in the giving, actually. And sometimes it happens when you're with children. Say you have chocolates and you say, and the two children are there. And one says, yes, 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 give me chocolate, I want chocolate, I did not have anything to eat. I'm hungry, give me my chocolate. And the other child says, yes, give to him. Give to him. To whom does your heart feel to give? To the one who wants to give away, to the one who wants to serve, to the one who looks after the comforts and the benefit of others. And so, of course, this is connected with the deeper philosophy of karma. But this ability to selflessly give, even if it means my own comforts are less. But that is when we win God's heart. That is when we even win the heart of the dynamics of the drama. The wealth of a heart that is full and content and wants to give. Give selflessly. And then the best comes towards us. That little grain of gold. Big grain of gold. But of course, this is very different from the mindset of humanity in general at present, but definitely the capitalistic world, where there are two chants going on in people's mind all the time. I, my, mine. You know, and the thought of giving, it doesn't come in people's minds. From the moment people wake up, the list of what they lack passes in the mind. What horrible way to live, no? To live with a mind that is constant complaining, constant feeling empty, constant feeling needy. Whether it is true or not, because the majority of people living in definitely the Western world, we have a roof, we have food, we have basic things, but still this ongoing chant, what is missing, what is lacking, that invokes misery and poverty. A mind that is full, a mind that is content, a mind that is happy, a mind that wants to give, a mind that wants to cooperate, a mind who sees the beauty and the greatness. That mind invites not only prosperity, but well-being on all levels. Prosperity on all levels.
Sorry, sister. Can you speak a little bit louder? Because it's been difficult for the translation as well.
Is this better?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I'll do my best like this.
Maybe tiring for you, but
No, it's okay. We need a different gadget these
thank you.
days. It's getting old. And so this mind that is full, and of course, this is where the role of the spiritual journey, the spiritual institution, the Brahma Kumaris, and the teachings of spiritual wisdom and the practice of meditation become such a pivotal, such an important aspect of this true prosperity and true wealth, because the wealth of the soul can only be awakened, accumulated, when we get that accurate understanding and the accurate practice of remembrance of God and invocation of His presence. When the highest emerges within us, that is when we will invite the highest response from matter also, the highest response of the drama. And of course, in our spiritual studies and in our meditation practices, the wealth of refined thoughts and the wealth of refined and higher experiences becomes so fulfilling that there is the feeling I don't need anything. And not only I don't need anything, I would want everyone else to experience what I am able to access and experience. And maybe that state of awareness, that state of identity becomes the seed for every other form of prosperity to come towards us. And of course, with Diwali time, the goddess Lakshmi is worshipped, and the symbol of the goddess of wealth. But the deeper understandings and the deeper practices is not just worshipping the idol or worshipping the image. You become that image of goodness, that image of wisdom, and then wealth follows naturally. One other aspect of wealth is whatever wealth is there, also at a physical level, but also at a non-physical level, to use it in the right way, to use it for the benefit of as many as possible, in which this whole spirit of service or being serviceable comes. Because everything has its manual, no? If we use our car to take a swim in the river, the car will break down because that is not in the manual. So there is a manual for everything. And if we use it according to the manual, it will stay intact for a long period of time. But if you use it, this is where the spiritual law comes in. If you use it for the benefit of as many others as possible, it multiplies and comes back to you. And my personal favorite of wealth is the wealth of an innocent, pure mind, an innocent and pure heart, which comes through deep wisdom, of course, an intellect that is clean. But to give a simple example before we come to my part ending, this, what you see here, what is this that you see here? I don't know if anyone can open, you can speak. What are you seeing here?
5 fingers.
5 fingers, what else? Hand, what else?
Line of fortune.
Sorry?
Line of fortune.
Line of fortune, what else?
Give.
Giving. What you're seeing is a miracle, isn't it? Hands are a miracle. Skin, if you cut it, it heals by itself. With hands, you can touch, you can make things, you can care for, you can cut things, you can do so many things. This is a miracle. isn't it? This is another miracle. What is this here? Eyes. Another miracle. Another eye here, another miracle. The mouth, this tongue is a miracle. If you know all the neurological things happening in your tongue, it's an immense miracle. This whole body is a miracle. This Zoom is a miracle. People from all over, we can connect. This mic, even not working too well, it's still man-made miracle. It's computer miracle. We are surrounded by miracles. Do you wake up in the morning and say, wow, so many miracles, so many wonders? A mind that can see the miracles. That mind is invaluable. A mind that is like God's mind. Such prosperity is that. Thank you. I know Anjani Ben will close with you all. We are having Diwali celebrations here, celebrating the festival of light and prosperity here. But it's so nice to be with all of you. And again, thanks for the opportunity. And Anjani Ben will close the final moments. Thank you.
Ben, beautiful sharing, beautiful stories. And I'm sure the story of that little tiny seed or whatever that beggar gave to the king of all kings, we have learned a lesson that what we give will be what I will get. And so if prosperity has to do with giving, and it does have everything to do with giving, the question I will ask myself, how big is my heart? Is my heart as big as God's heart? Is my heart as big as, feeling that I have everything, I can give anything, even though I may not even have a lot, but there isn't even a thought that will come that I don't have. I feel that when this consciousness and awareness is there that I belong to God, my relationship is with God, and I'm receiving everything from God, we will always have everything we need. We will never feel depleted. We will never feel that I need something, I want something. Sometimes there is this thought that, I wish this could be a little bit more different. And then I said to myself, even that is a thought of lacking in something. Even that is a thought of not feeling the prosperity of life. So I started to change that, especially since Manoj Bhai gave me this homework quite a while now on prosperity. You tend to start looking and seeing how one uses this quality. How am I engaged in this quality? How is my life becoming prosperous? And so I start feeling that every day, the more I feel I'm able to use what God has given to me, I feel more prosperous. The more I'm able to share it, I am more prosperous. The more I am able to follow the right codes of conduct of life. Because life, whether it's family life, student life, life at workplace, life in every sense of where I am, there is a code of conduct that governs our lives. Because it's ethnics, it's all these qualities we have to use. And what I am at home with my family and what I am at workplace, it has its code of conduct. And so as much as I'm able to follow those in a very easy way, in a very natural way, in a way that brings us together, in a way that creates harmony, in a way that creates love, in a way that, you know, the feeling of joy is there, I feel life is experienced more from that place of prosperity. So, you know, sometimes we are challenged by certain things and we feel that, you know, this is pretty difficult to accept. And yet you find yourself, as you become more full inside, you feel that I don't need to use that quality anymore. But acceptance became natural. You look back and you say, but a few weeks ago, I was challenged by this and I couldn't accept it. And today I can. And you can ask yourself the question, but why? Why is it that it's easy today for me to accept this? It's because of the soul feels itself more full with what it needs. So we don't find ourselves going out, searching and looking at everyone and everywhere for what we need. But we look inside, we move deeply within. And what's there is abundance, is our prosperity, our life that is so full and beautiful. And so let's take some time, and Manoj Bhai, we can have a few minutes of meditation. Is that okay? Okay, so let's take some time and reflect a little bit on our own pure nature of being. Stabilizing the self in the awareness of who I am as this beautiful being of light. The being as God sees the being, full and pure. God sees the being as his child, and I see myself through the eyes of God. And looking through that vision, there's the experience that I am in the image of my own Father, the one who sees me and the one I see through the eye of knowledge, through the eye of understanding that I am light and I belong to the light. When this beautiful connection is there, when this relationship is there, everything flows. Everything becomes natural around me. And I realize that every pure thought I create, life becomes natural. Life becomes easy. Even Mother Nature brings abundance. Even within the self, there is a flow of energy. And one steps back to observe that what wonder and the amazement of this connection with God looks like and feel like. I feel, I see, I share from this place of abundance. My heart expands from a feeling of being limited to being unlimited. Everything grows and becomes vast and unlimited. And so prosperity is all around me, whether in my thoughts, my words, my actions, my lifestyle. Everything around even Mother Nature. There's that beautiful feeling that everything moves in a state of harmony because the soul experiences that. The soul doesn't come from a place of sorrow and pain and suffering, but from a place of abundance, from a place of growth, from a place that everything is available for me. And so feel the wealth within the self. Wake up every morning and feel that today is wonderful. I've awoken the fortune in the soul. I've awoken to realize that this life that I have is a life of fortune and prosperity. See it, recognize it, and enjoy living this beautiful life with God and with the world family, not judging anyone, but seeing them through the eyes of God, seeing everyone, they are beautiful beings that is playing their own part. Doesn't matter the part. Recognize that every soul plays their own most important role. My attention is focused on my own life of sharing, on my own life of receiving, on my own life of fullness, so that I can be in that form of image that constantly gives. Give and give and give, so that everyone's pocket becomes full and no one needs anything. Share God's light, share God's love, share God's prosperity with every soul, those who are in front of you and those who are far away. Everyone receiving this beautiful, beautiful quality of feeling a life of abundance. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. And I would say thank you very much for having us on. The team, you have been doing amazing things. It's not that easy every week to come on with something new, something more deeper, something more experiential. And that tells the wisdom in each one of you who have been holding this program. And so thank you and appreciate very much the invitation to be with the family this morning. And we are also celebrating Diwali today, and it is with the BK family. We had our public Diwali last week. It was wonderful. And today we are celebrating with the BK family, and we have 2 other public programs still on Diwali. So in New York, the wave of prosperity is all around. Om Shanti.
Shanti. So thank you so much. We'll just take a few more minutes of yours, and I'll just ask our seniors with us, Dr. Ashok Mehta and Sister Claudia, both of them, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you. Thanks.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Anjani Man and Roma Man, for beautiful presentations on prosperity. I think it has brought in sharp focus Baba's knowledge that we are not Levtas, but we are Devtas. We give. Our hands should always be giving instead of asking. I think the story, the narrative was also very, very touching. That what you give, you get. You give small things, you get small. And you get big, you give big things, big heart, and you get everything big. I think life is what we can give rather than what we ask for. I think this is my personal experience also in the same way. I have received much more than whenever I have given something. The love that I get from the family uh, in the yajna is something unique. I've never had experience in my whole life. When I came first to Baba in 1988 through Dari Gulzarji, I think the story which sister narrated was very, very touching, and I think very significant. And so also, Anjani, man, whatever you shared was also very interesting. I think philosophy of Baba is to give, and it takes us back in the history of yoga when there was a Bagheri period in the early 50s or mid 50s, and today we see it's a totally different yoga. When I came in Gyan also in 1988, there was very little except the Om Shanti Bhavan and of course the Pandav Bhavan. And today we sit across the world in large retreat centers and large. I always tell people that our yoga is probably much bigger than most of the corporates. And that also is through giving. All of us, we receive so much of love, affection, and care from the sisters in the yajna and from Baba, of course. The sisters and brothers that we have, they are nothing else but the hands, multiple hands of Baba. So I think the prosperity, if we look even within ourselves and within our yajna, is through giving and not through asking. And this is only one organization where people have not raised funds by asking for it and putting names and labels, which is otherwise not very common amongst all the religious groups. I think it's giving that's most important, and it's giving to the heart that it's the contented heart which gives is the one which receives the maximum love and affection and everything that one desires in life. I think this has been one of the very, very touching episodes in the values program. We have had now 101 programs. I think this was really one of the touching ones. Thank you very much, both Anjani Ben and Rona Ben. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So nice to have both of you on a so important day as Diwali. We are also here preparing for a big program tomorrow. Cooking is going on for the last few days, cooking and preparation, gifts, lots of gifts. So it's quite nice to have both of you with us on this special occasion. And it was very nice to hear when you are saying that is when they come in front of the image, they are asking for whatever they need. And for us, we should be like that. We should not be giving what they don't want to get it, but whatever they are looking for. So I also like when Rona was talking about that not only big heart, she came out to the point is quite nicely, is also how much we surrender. So we have to have that feeling of surrender also with a big heart, but also to surrender whatever we have. And that brings prosperity because sometimes we forget that point of surrender as well. So we give and then a big heart, but we are still waiting for to get back. So when we surrender, we don't ask for anything back. It was very nice to, and also she was talking about the miracle of I even think about the miracle of the hands of the body. The whole body is really, so many cells are there working very properly, and one is not working proper. and then all the bodies suffer. So the body is really the whole body is real wonder. So it's a miracle that we are still here talking. It's a miracle that we are still holding this program after 4 years. So it's a miracle because of the speakers, actually, and the translators. So otherwise, we could not do much if we didn't have the speakers and the translators. So thank you very much for being with us. Have a happy Diwali to all of you, and to all of you that are listening to us today. Happy Diwali to everyone. May the light just bright, very bright, and be always happy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you. And as we close, Sister Anu, if you can quickly do the announcements.
Thank you, Manoj Bhai. So just a quick announcement. So beautiful, beautiful session today. As we planned our Prosperity Silence retreat just after 12 hours, but due to all these festivals, programs, we are postponing it 2 weeks after. So let's re-experience prosperity in the silence. So you're most welcome to join then, and we'll share again as the time comes closer. But today, the silence retreat is cancelled, so please note. The next session, episode 1 or 2 of Values for Life series, is on accountability, Jawabdehi in Hindi. So we'll also explore on this side of the value of responsibility. The accountability for that, we'll have Sister Denise from France, the senior Raj Yoga teacher there. It is happening next week, 9th of November, same time for West Coast, East Coast, US and Canada, but time is, and also Brazil, but time is changed for India. Oh, India time will be changed, sorry. Is it right? No. So, yeah, India time will be 8:30 p.m. So please note, yeah. So join us then, and we'll have also the workshop following it on accountability. So after time change, it will be on 16th November, 6:30 a.m. So half an hour before for this side of the world, and then it is 8 p.m. for India time. So please note on that, and please join us. We'll have Sister Kinnari from Brahma Kumaris in Guyana. So join us then. And this is our beautiful, elegant calendar. We also share it in the email and in the WhatsApp, as well as you can check us out on our playlists, on our YouTube channels, and our website, vihasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.com. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And I know we take a picture. If we open our videos, we can take a picture, make this moment memorable. So you can please switch on your video now. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Cut the photo.
I'm sure Sister Anjani, Sister Anjani has to leave for the further programs. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, and just have a wonderful, wonderful, prosperous life. Not only for Diwali, but a lifetime, the rest of the confluence age and rest of one's life. Let's all celebrate our own lives full of prosperity. Om Shanti. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, Sister Anjani.